Ayan, so hello grade 9. So hopefully you are ready for the upcoming term 1 examination. So ngayon mga anak, for today magpo-provide ako sa inyo ng mga sample questions na possible or pwedeng lumabas sa ating term 1 examination. But please take note ha, these are only sample questions and it doesn't necessarily mean na ito mismo yung lalabas sa actual examination. Nakadepende pa rin ito doon sa mga topics na na-covered ninyo or na-covered ng inyong subject teachers. So kung ano yung na-discuss niya after summative 2, yun ang lalabas sa ating term 1 examination. Pero may ilan or pailan-ilang items na lalabas from summative 1 to summative 2. Ito yung mga topics kung saan na-observe ni teacher na marami ang nakakuha ng mababang scores. Okay? So, anyway, this review is aligned with the actual topics covered in our curriculum na dapat nating i-discuss in term 1 or isali sa term 1 examination. So hopefully makatulong ito sa inyo or makatulong sa ating preparation sa nalalapit na exam. Okay, so magbibigay din ako ng mga sample questions doon sa mga competencies na alam kong possible may mga nakakuha ng mababang scores. So yung ating covered ng ating term 1 examination is about electromagnetic waves, its application, and then we will also include the topics or contents from continental drift theory and then the plate and plate boundary. So yun lamang naman ang pinaka highlight ng ating term 1 examination. So are you ready? So if you are, let's begin. So pwede kayong kumuha ng papel. Mag-try kayo magsagot. Okay, and then right after, pag nire-reveal ko na yung sagot, check ninyo kung kayo ay nakatama. Ayan, and then at the end, tingnan natin kung ilan yung makukuha nating scores. Pwede nyo i-pause, okay, habang nag-iisip kayo ng sagot. Ayan, so note these are sample questions only. They are provided as a reviewer and reference material to help you prepare for the examination. These questions are not guaranteed to appear on the actual exam. Use this reviewer as a guide to understand and review the important concepts covered in the lessons. Okay, so let's start. So for question number 1, okay, it's about or from electromagnetic waves topic. Ano? So, what is electromagnetic radiation? A. Energy that travels through matter only. B. Energy that travels in waves. Or C. A type of mechanical vibration. And D. A form of sound energy. So, ano nga ba yung ating electromagnetic radiation? Okay, what is your answer? Correct. It's letter B. Why letter B? Okay, so remember mga anak, electromagnetic radiation is a form of energy that travels through space in the form of waves or electromagnetic waves. Okay? Unlike or compare sa ating mechanical waves, okay, electromagnetic waves do not require a medium for it to travel. Okay, ano ba yung tinatawag nating medium? The air, water, like for example, yung solid, liquid, and gas, ano yung three states of matter. Ang electromagnetic waves, hindi niya kailangan ng medium for it to travel or for it to be transmitted. Hindi niya kailangan ng media kasi kaya niya mag-travel through empty space or vacuum. Okay, yun lang kaibahan nila, ano? Okay, and then, this is why, yung ating example, sunlight can travel from sun to earth through vacuum or space. Okay, so electromagnetic radiation, tandaan lang natin, is an energy that travels through waves. Okay, tatandaan. Examples nito, na-discuss naman natin dito, yung sa electromagnetic spectrum includes radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible light, ultraviolet, X-rays, and then gamma rays. Okay, so yun yung part of electromagnetic spectrum. Ayan, so second question. Which electromagnetic wave has the longest wavelength? Alin siya naman yung may pinaka longest wavelength? Gamma rays, X-rays, radio waves, or ultraviolet waves? Anong inyong sagot? Sulat sa papel. Correct. It's a radio wave. So radio waves is a type of electromagnetic waves, okay, with the highest or with the longest wavelength. And okay, though siya ay long yung kanyang wavelength or it has a longest wavelength, mababa naman yung kanyang energy and frequency. Kasi tandaan natin yung parang idea dyan or yung idea in that way na pag mahaba or pag long yung kanyang wavelength, mababa. Okay, yung kanyang frequency and energy. Okay. Inversely proportional. Pag ganun mga anak, ano? Ayan. So, tandaan natin, they are commonly, yung radio waves natin, commonly used, okay, for communication, including radio and television broadcasting. Kasi nga, mahaba yung kanyang wavelength na aabot for long distances communication. Ano? Kapag sinabi nating longest wavelength, ang unang tatandaan natin, radio waves. Sa electromagnetic spectrum, radio waves are at the low energy end. Okay, pero may pinaka mahabang wavelength. Okay, next. Number three, which electromagnetic wave has the shortest wavelength naman? Ito naman, kung ang radio waves yung may pinaka longest na wavelength, alin naman dyan yung may pinaka shortest? Radio waves, microwaves, X-rays, or gamma rays? Okay, so what's your answer? Correct. It's gamma rays. So tandaan natin mga anak, ang gamma rays, nung napag-aaralan natin, it has the shortest wavelength and highest frequency and energy. Though mapakaikli ng kanyang wavelength, napakataas naman ng kanyang frequency and energy. Okay, among the electromagnetic waves. And because of their very high frequency, they are also have the highest energy. Okay, so opposite ito, okay, ng radio waves. Kasi ang gamma rays, okay, napaka-ikli ng kanyang wavelength, napakataas ng energy. So tandaan nyo lang anak, radio waves, longest wavelength, lowest energy. Gamma rays, shortest wavelength, highest energy. Okay, so yun lang ang tatandaan natin. Ha? Okay, baka lumabas sa exam. What happens to the energy of an electromagnetic wave as its wavelength decreases? Ano daw ang nangyayari sa energy ng electromagnetic wave as its wavelength decreases? It decreases, it increases, it remains constant, or it disappears? Correct. It increases. So habang umiikli or nagiging maikli yung wavelength ng bawat electromagnetic wave, tumataas naman yung kanyang energy. Okay. So remember, as the wavelength of an electromagnetic wave decreases, its frequency and energy increases. Okay. So shorter wavelength means higher frequency and higher energy. Tatandaan ha. Okay, so which relationship between wavelength and frequency is correct? They are directly proportional, they are inversely proportional, they are always equal, or they have no relationship. Correct. They are directly, wavelength and frequency rather, they are inversely proportional. Okay, ang directly proportional mga anak ay yung frequency and energy. Okay, tatandaan, ang wavelength at frequency ay inversely. So, ibig sabihin ng inversely mga anak, okay, ano bang ibig sabihin nito? Pag mataas ang wavelength, mababa ang kanyang frequency. Or pag mahaba or long yung kanyang wavelength, mababa yung kanyang frequency. Pero, pag sobrang ikli naman or ng wavelength, napakaikli, napakataas naman ng kanyang frequency. Ibig sabihin, opposite. Okay, sir, ano naman po yung directly proportional? Pag directly mga anak, like frequency and energy, kung ano yung way ng isa, ganun din. Pag tumaas ang frequency, tataas din ang energy. Pag mataas ang energy, it means mataas ang frequency. Ganun lamang yung pag directly proportional. Pag inversely, magkaiba. Pag directly, magkatulad. Nagkukuha. Okay. Which electromagnetic wave is commonly used for radio and television broadcasting? O nabanggit na natin, kung baga, if you know how to connect questions, sometimes mga anak, sa exam, yung sagot sa isang item is nakikita natin sa mga tanong na nabasa na natin. Okay, ganun kasi gumawa ng mga question yung mga teacher. May clue din, okay, sa exam na kaya nating makuha or ma-unlock. Like for example, this one, ang topic na natin nun or na-discuss kanina sa unang question. Which electromagnetic wave is commonly used for radio and television broadcasting for long distances communication, di ba? So, radio waves, infrared, X-rays, or gamma rays. Okay, so syempre, it's the radio waves. Ano? So, radio waves are widely used to transmit information over long distances. Tandaan natin, They are used in radio broadcasting, television, okay, and various communication technologies. Yun lang ang tatandaan nating mga anak. Okay, next. Which electromagnetic wave is used in microwave ovens and radar? O, syempre may clue na tayo diyan. Ano, microwave ovens and radar. Visible light, microwaves, ultraviolet, or gamma rays. Syempre, it's microwaves. Okay, ano nga ulit yung microwaves? Yung microwaves are electromagnetic waves na ginagamit or used in technologies such as microwave, ovens, and radar. So in a microwave oven, okay, microwave energy interacts with molecules in food, helping it to heat it. Okay, di ba? Okay, yun yung pinaka-function or purpose ng microwaves. Ayan. Next, which electromagnetic wave is felt as heat but cannot be seen by humans? Heat but cannot be seen by humans. Okay, ano kaya? Infrared, radio waves, X-rays, or visible light? Tama, it's infrared mga anak, no? So, infrared radiation is invisible, okay, or hindi natin nakikita to the human eye, but is associated with thermal energy. Okay, so objects emit infrared radiation and we commonly experience it as heat. Okay, so though hindi natin nakikita ang infrared, pero we can feel it. Ano yung effect? Heat. Okay, kaya kapag sinabi nating invisible radiation, which is associated with heat, okay, ang una nating iisipin, it's infrared. Okay, di ba ginagamit din sa mga thermal scanner. Okay, next. Which type of electromagnetic radiation can be detected by the human eye? Can be detected, Actually, ito lang yun. Okay, ito lang yun. Ano, infrared, ultraviolet, visible light, microwaves. Okay, so it's, ayan, correct. The visible light. Bakit visible light? So, visible light is the portion of the electromagnetic spectrum nung pinakita sa inyo ni teacher, yung electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, nakita natin doon yung ating visible light. Ano? So, visible light is the portion or part of electromagnetic spectrum that can be detected by the human eye and it allows us to see colors. Oh, wow. Kaya pala tayo nakaka-perceive ng colors. Ano? Okay, we can see the colors of a particular objects around us because of this. Okay, the visible light. Next, which electromagnetic wave can cause sunburn and may contribute to skin cancer? Radio waves, ultraviolet waves, microwaves, infrared waves. Pag nasobrahan lang ng exposure. Pero, okay, may advantage din yan sa atin, yung ultraviolet waves. Pero hindi yung super magbababad ka talaga, no? Okay, sa initan. Okay, especially katanghalian, talagang masusunog ka dyan. Okay, so ano po ang sagot dito? It's ultraviolet wave. So ultraviolet or the UV radiation comes from the sun. So tandaan natin, excessive. Okay, yung excessive exposure to UV radiation can damage skin, okay, skin cells and may contribute to skin cancer. Okay, and then that's why, okay, sunscreen is important. Pag tayo lumalabas, especially katanghalian, UV radiation is invisible but too much exposure can damage our skin. So, pag lalabas tayo, especially ngayong sobrang init, don't forget to, what do you call this? Put um, a sunscreen. Ano? Pamprotection sa ating katawan. Next, which electromagnetic wave is commonly used to examine broken bones? Ayan, broken bones, ha? Radio waves, infrared, X-rays, or microwaves? Correct. Siyempre, it's X-ray. So, mostly naman siguro naka-experience magpa-X-ray sa atin. 'Di ba? Especially pag nagpapa-medical. Pero since kayo mga bata pa, yung iba siguro sa inyo hindi pa, ano. So, ano ba yung X-ray ulit, mga anak? Balikan natin. So, X-ray is also a part of electromagnetic spectrum. And it can pass through soft tissues but are absorbed more strongly by dense materials such as the bones. This makes them useful for medical imaging, particularly for detecting fractures. Kaya nga pag nabalian ka, okay, pa-x-ray ka muna, tingnan natin kung anong meron. Okay, para makita natin yung problem. Okay, pero, okay, meron din itong risk. Too much exposure. Kasi mataas ang radiation nito. Hindi tayo pwedeng ma-expose ng sobrang tagal dito. Okay, can cause or damage cells also. Kaya nga pag nagpapa-x-ray tayo, sobrang dali, mabilisan lamang. Okay, tayo, flash, go, alis. Ayan, so ganun lamang. Hindi ka pwedeng magbaba doon. Okay, next. Which electromagnetic wave has the highest energy? Okay, highest energy ha, visible light, ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays. Ang tatandaan nyo dito mga anak, alin dyan yung may pinaka-shortest ang wavelength. So pag short yung wavelength na yan, di yun yung may pinaka-mataas na energy. Okay, so ano kaya? Ano kaya yun? Correct, it's gamma rays. So gamma rays have the highest frequency and energy in electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, their high energy means they can interact strongly with matter. Okay, next. Which of the following is an example of an electromagnetic radiation device or radiation device used for communication? For communication, ha? Nandun yung keyword natin, communication. Cellphone, thermometer, balance, microscope. Siyempre, cellphone. Nandun yung keyword natin, communication. So, a cell phone uses electromagnetic radiation, particularly radio frequency waves, to transmit and receive information wirelessly. Okay, so yun yung ating purpose or a device na gumagamit, sample devices na gumagamit ng electromagnetic radiation for communication. Okay, so which electromagnetic waves are classified as ionizing radiation in the lesson? Okay, ano kaya yung example ng ionizing radiation? Diyan. Radio waves and microwaves and the visible light, X-rays and gamma rays, or radio waves and infrared? Correct. It's X-rays and gamma rays. So, tandaan natin, according to our lesson, ang X-ray mga anak and gamma rays, kinaklasify natin sila as ionizing radiation because bakit kasi sila kasama or bakit sila ionizing radiation? Because they have enough energy to remove electrons from atoms. May enough energy sila para makatanggal ng electrons sa isang atoms. Okay, it can cause several effects, mutation, etc., damage the particular cells, especially sa living organisms. This can potentially causes changes or damage to cells and DNA. Okay, next. What is the correct order of electromagnetic waves from the lowest to the highest? Lowest muna ha, to the highest energy. Tandaan natin, ano ang ating arrangement? From lowest to the highest energy. So, magsisimula muna tayo dun sa lowest energy. Letter A, B, C, or D. Okay, the answer is correct. Letter B. Radio waves, microwave, infrared, visible light, UV or ultraviolet, X-ray, and the gamma. Okay, or the gamma ray. So, yan po yung correct order natin. From lowest to highest energy. Okay, tatandaan na, baka lumabas. Which characteristics or characteristic refers to the distance between two consecutive waves or crest? Okay, tatandaan natin, two consecutive. Okay, wave crest. It's correct, the wavelength. So ano nga ulit yung wavelength? Wavelength is the distance between corresponding points on consecutive waves, such as like yung crest to crest or throw to throw. So napakita ko din sa discussion yung structure of a wave. Ano? So tanda pa ba yung part? So siguro naman ito hindi naman item na remembering lang naman ito. Napakababang question. Okay, so hopefully alam ba din naman natin yung structure ng wave. Next, what is frequency? Ano ba yung frequency? Ulit mga anak. The height of a wave, the distance between waves, the number of waves passing a point per second, the time needed for light to travel. Correct. It's the number of waves passing a point per second. Ano? Okay, so remember, um, frequency tells us how many complete waves pass a particular point in 1 second. Okay, tandaan natin. And yung unit ng ating frequency it is expressed in hertz. Okay, so if 10 waves, tandaan natin, if 10 waves, for example, pass a point every second, okay, the frequency is 10 hertz. Okay, so parang ganun. Ano? So, which electromagnetic wave is used in remote controls? Okay, sa mga remote controls naman, infrared, gamma rays, X-rays, or ultraviolet? Correct, infrared. Okay, so bakit po? So, many remote controls, tandaan natin, nakakita naman kayo ng remote sa school pag in-open natin yung TV or sa bahay. Okay, many remote controls use infrared radiation actually. Okay, to transmit signals to electronic devices like televisions, and even for air conditioners. May mga remote din yan, yung mga ating aircon. Okay, next. Which electromagnetic wave is used in cancer treatment naman? Cancer treatment according to our lesson. Okay, so ano nga yung electromagnetic wave na ginagamit for cancer treatment? Correct. Right, radio waves, gamma rays, microwaves, or visible light. Correct. Gamma rays. Ano? So, gamma radiation can be used in certain cancer treatments, mga anak. Okay, because it has what? It has high energy. Tandaan natin. And can damage or destroy targeted cancer cells. Okay, medical professionals carefully control the radiation to minimize damage to healthy tissue. Okay, so yan pa. May advantage din naman. Next, why must exposure to high energy electromagnetic radiation be controlled? It always produces sound. It can damage cells and DNA. It cannot travel through space. It has no practical applications. Okay, correct. Letter B, ano, it can damage cells and DNA. So yung mga high energy electromagnetic radiation, mga anak, it can interact, tanda natin, interact strongly with matter. Kino-consider natin silang ionizing radiation, like for example, yung X-ray natin and then gamma rays. Okay, kasi nakaka-damage sila ng mga biological molecules, including our DNA. So, exposure must be carefully controlled. Okay? Next, who proposed the continental drift theory? Sino nga ang nag-propose nito? Isaac Newton, Alfred Wegener, Albert Einstein, or Charles Darwin? Okay, so it's correct, Alfred Wegener. So si Isaac Newton or si Sir Isaac Newton natin mga anak is famous siya sa three laws of motion. So hindi na natin i-associate siya sa continental drift theory. Si Albert Einstein naman mga anak is what do you call this? Associated siya sa maraming um, studies about the theory of relativity. Okay, and then many more associated din yan siya sa creation of atomic bomb. Okay, Charles Darwin. Ayan, so sino nga si Charles Darwin? Ito ay for the theory of evolution which is madidiscuss din naman sa grade 10. Okay, so ang na-encounter lang talaga natin kung marunong kayo mag-eliminate is si Sir Isaac and si Alfred Wegener in this term, right? Pero alam naman natin si Sir Isaac ay sa three laws of motion. So definitely, letter B tayo. Okay? So next, what was the name of the supercontinent proposed by Wegener? Ano naman yung supercontinent daw or yung whole one continent? Gondwana, Laurasia, Pangaea or Pangaea, Eurasia. Okay, so it's Pangaea. Ano? So yung ating Pangaea or Pangaea was the supercontinent proposed by Wegener and it represented a time, okay, when most of Earth's present-day continents were joined together. Okay, yung Pangaea natin mga anak is the model or the representation na dati yung mga kontinente natin ngayon magkakasama. Okay, next. What does the word Pangaea refer to? A deep ocean trench, a single huge landmass where continents were joined, a volcanic mountain range, or a tectonic fault? Okay, syempre it's a single huge landmass 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 where continents were joined. So, tatandaan natin yung Pangaea natin mga anak ay ito yung ancient supercontinent over millions of years and it gradually broke apart and its pieces move to their present positions. Okay, which is explained in the whole concept of continental drift theory. Okay, next. What did Wegener propose about the continents? They have always remained in the same positions. They were once connected and later drifted apart. Pag sinabi natin drifted, naghiwalay. Okay. They form apart after volcanic eruptions. They are fixed to the ocean floor. Correct. Anong sagot natin dito? They were once connected and later drifted apart. Okay. So, Wegener proposed that continents were not talaga permanently fixed in their position. Hindi talaga fixed ang mga continent. Instead, they were once connected and later move apart because of tectonic plate movements. Okay. So, 25. Which evidence shows that continents fit together like pieces of puzzle? Okay, ano yung ebidensya daw na nagpapakita na yung mga kontinente is magkakadikit like a piece of puzzle? Fossil evidence, climate evidence, jigsaw fit of continents, or seismic evidence? Correct, it's jigsaw fit continents. Ano? Okay, so some continental coastlines appear to fit together like pieces of puzzle. Like for example, yung coastline ng South America and Africa are a commonly discussed example natin nung ah, ating sa ating video lecture so talagang makikita natin yung coastline ng South America yung sa Africa part talagang magka-fit talaga sakto na nagpapakita na once magkadikit yan. Okay. Next, similar fossils found on continents that are now far apart provide what type of evidence? A. Biological evidence, climate evidence, weather evidence, or astronomical evidence. Siyempre, pag fossils, okay, ano nga yung fossils? Remains of dead plants and animals. So, definitely, it's biological. Kasi galing sa mga living organism. Okay? So, similar fossils found on continents na nakikita natin sa mga continents ngayon suggest that those land masses were once connected or were much closer together. Okay, kasi paano natin masasabi? Like for example, may mga fossils ng mga freshwater animals. Tapos makikita mo sa ibang continent, hindi naman nila kayang tumawid sa salt water, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, nagpapakita lamang yun na dati yung mga continent na yan magkakasama. Okay, similar rock layers and mountain ranges found on different continents provide evidence for A. Continental drift, ocean tides, weathering only, or solar radiation. Correct, it's for continental drift theory. Yung mga matching rock layers natin and mountain ranges on continents, which is now separated by oceans, provide a strong evidence talaga that these continents were once connected or magkakasama dati. Okay. Next, what happened to the Pangea over millions of years? Ano yung nangyari sa Pangea or Pangea over millions of years? It became one larger continent. It gradually broke apart into separate land masses. It disappeared into the mantle. It became the Pacific Ocean. Okay, correct. Letter B, ano, it gradually broke apart into separate land masses and formed several continents. Excuse me. Ayan. So next, 29. Which theory provides the mechanism that explains how continents move? Ano naman yung theory nagpo-provide daw? Okay, the mechanism that explains how continents move. Letter A, cell theory, evolution theory, plate tectonic theory, or atomic theory. Siyempre, it's the plate tectonic theory. Okay, so tandaan natin yung continental drift, it described the movement of continents. But it did not originally provide, 'di ba, a convincing mechanism for how they moved. Okay, so plate tectonic theory later provide the broader explanation involving tectonic plates. And then later on, nag-provide pa sila ng several evidences to prove that their claim is correct. Okay, next. Which statement best describes the relationship between continental drift and plate tectonics? Plate tectonics provides an explanation for the movement proposed by continental drift. Continental drift disproves plate tectonics, or they explain completely unrelated processes. Plate tectonics states that continents never move. What's the answer? Correct. Is letter A. Ano? So, continental drift and plate tectonics are connected. Magkaparehas yan. Kasi yung explanation, okay, sa plate tectonics movement, it can strongly, what do you call this? Explain, okay, the continental drift theory. Yung explanation natin sa plate tectonic theory, talagang nagpapatibay lalo doon sa continental drift theory. Kasi nga continental drift theory provided evidence that continents move. While yung ating plate tectonics explained that continents are carried by large moving pieces of Earth's lithosphere called tectonic plates. Okay, so talagang magkadikit sila. Okay, next. What are tectonic plates? Ano nga ulit yung tectonic plates natin? Okay, what are tectonic plates? Large rigid pieces of Earth's lithosphere, layers of Earth's atmosphere, bodies of water found between continents, or molten rocks found only in volcanoes. Correct. Okay, a large rigid pieces of Earth's lithosphere. So tandaan natin, tectonic plates are large, relatively rigid, sections of Earth's lithosphere. And they move slowly over the underlying asthenosphere. Kasi sa ilalim natin, napaka-active dyan. So it causes, okay, the movement of plate tectonics. Okay, next. Where do tectonic plates met and interact? Saan nga siya nag-met and nag-interact? At plate boundaries, in the atmosphere, at the center of the sun, inside the clouds. Siyempre, in plate boundaries. Ano? So, plate boundaries are pieces where tectonic plates met and interact. And many geological activities such as yung earthquakes, volcanic activity, mountain building, and even the yung seafloor spreading occur around these boundaries. Okay, pag nag-i-interact itong mga boundaries na to, okay, nagkakaroon or yung ating mga nag-i-interact yung ating mga plates, okay, at gumalaw yung boundaries na yan, nagkakos yan ng iba't ibang geological activities. For example, earthquakes and many more. Next, which type of plate boundary occurs when two plates move toward each other? Ano naman yung plate type daw ng plate boundary na ang movement ay move toward each other. Kumbaga panggaan, moving toward. Correct, it's convergent. Okay. Next, tandaan lang natin sa convergent, tectonic plates move toward each other. Convergent, converge, come together. Okay? Next, what commonly forms when two continental plates collide? Ano yung nabubuo pag dalawang continental plates, continental ha, yung nag-collide? Mid-ocean ridges, large mountain ranges, ocean basins, coral reefs. Siyempre, it's large mountain ranges, katulad ng Himalayas. Okay, next. What happens during oceanic continental convergence? Both plates move apart. Nag-move apart ba? Converge nga, diga. So, dapat toward. Mali na yung A. The oceanic plate subducts beneath the continental plate. Both plates slide horizontally. No geological activity occurs. Correct. Letter B, ano? The oceanic plate subducts beneath the continental plate. Okay, so dito, yung oceanic crust kasi natin is generally denser. 'Di ba? Yung explanation natin, generally denser than continental crust. When the two converge, the oceanic plate can sink beneath the continental plate, and yung process wherein yung ating oceanic plate subducts is subduction. Okay, yung oceanic plate natin or nag-sink ang tawag natin doon, subduction. Okay, next. Which geological feature is associated with oceanic to oceanic convergence? Ano yung na-form daw pag ito naman yung nag-converge? Volcanic island arcs, reef valleys only, mid-ocean ridges, or continental plains? Correct, it's volcanic island arcs. So tandaan natin that when two oceanic plates converge, one may subduct, especially yung pinaka-denser sa dalawa, beneath the other. Melting and magma formation can lead to volcanic activity. Okay, and it will produce what? Okay, it produces chains of volcanic islands called volcanic arcs. Okay, so next, what happens at a divergent plate boundary? Ano naman yung nangyayari pag divergent? Plates move toward, mali na kasi yan ay convergent. Plates slide past, hindi rin kasi yan ay transform. Plates move away from each other or plates stop moving. Siyempre, it's letter C, moving away. And tandaan natin sa divergent boundary, pwede siyang makakreate ng new crust. Okay, di ba? So, in this type, at divergent boundaries, tandaan natin, two plates move apart, nagkakalayo, or they separate. So, magma can rise and cool, producing new crust. Tandaan lang natin, divergent, divide, move apart. Okay? Which feature can form at a divergent boundary? Ano yung na-form kadalasan sa mga divergent boundary? Mid-ocean range, Himalayas, deep ocean trench from subduction, volcanic mountain range from continental collision. Siyempre, it's mid-ocean ridges. Okay, so yung mid-ocean ridges natin, it is formed where oceanic plates move apart, nagkalayo. Rising magma, okay, then the magma cools and solidifies, contributing to the formation of the new oceanic crust. Okay, what is the characteristic or characteristics of a transform boundary? Okay, plates move away from each other. It's divergent. Plates collide and form mountains. Okay, collide, di ba? Pag collision is converge. Okay, plates slide past each other horizontally. One plate always subducts. It's no, pag may subducts sa convergent, yan. So the answer is plates slide past each other horizontally. So tandaan lang natin that in a transform boundaries, mga anak, yung plates natin nag-move sideways. Sideways past one another. So yung friction can cause stress to build up, which is eventually na nagkakos ng earthquake, malakas na earthquake. So tandaan natin, transform, slide past. Which type of plate boundary is strongly associated with earthquakes but generally does not create new crust? Divergent, transform, convergent, or oceanic continental only? Correct. It's transform. No. So transform boundaries are strongly associated with earthquakes because plates slide past each other and stress can accumulate along the boundary. Unlike divergent boundaries, transform boundaries generally do not create new crust. So tandaan lang natin, pag may um, question na na-encounter kayo sa exam, which boundary can highly or can cause tsunamis? Okay, transform, divergent, convergent. Ang sasagot natin is convergent. Tatandaan ha, convergent. Pag may narinig kayong tsunami, highly caused tsunamis. Okay, so tapos na tayo dun sa mga prescribed topics. Magbibigay ako ngayon ng mga anak ng mga question. Galing naman doon sa summative 1 and summative 2 natin na possible or pagkuhanan ni teacher. Okay, balikan natin. Which subatomic particle is primarily responsible for the presence of electric current? Okay, electric current. Ano nga yung electricity? The flow of? Correct. It's electron. Tatandaan natin ha, electrons. Okay, next. According to Ohm's law, what happens to current when voltage increases while resistance remains constant? Current decreases, current increases, current remains the same, or current becomes zero? Ano daw yung nangyayari sa current when voltage increases? Okay, syempre, increases din. Kasi current and voltage is directly proportional. Okay, tandaan natin ha. Okay, next. Which formula correctly represents Ohm's law for current? Okay, current is equal to voltage divided by resistance, or current is equal to voltage times resistance, current is equal to resistance over voltage, or current is equal to voltage plus resistance. Anong tamang formula? Correct, letter A. Ano? So if resistance remains constant and voltage increases, current also increases. Okay, so in this formula, okay, tandaan lang natin. Okay, ito yung pinaka-representation ng Ohm's law. Okay, so which statement correctly describes a series circuit? Paano nga pag series? It has two or more pathways for current. Current is divided among different branches. It has only one pathway for current, or voltage is the same across every component. Correct. It's letter C. It has only one pathway for current. Pag parallel naman, two or more pathway. Tandaan ha. In a series circuit, what happens to the total resistance when more resistors are added? Pag maraming resistor ang inad, anong nangyayari sa resistance? Decreases, increases, it becomes zero, or it remains unchanged? Okay, it, correct, increases. Okay, bakit? So, in a series circuit kasi, kung magtatandaan natin yung equation ng resistance, di ba? Total resistance is equal to resistance 1 plus 2 plus 3 or and so on and so forth. Kumbaga, nag-add lang tayo, so definitely it will increase. Okay, so which statement correctly describes a parallel circuit? It has only one pathway for current. Current is the same through every branch. It has two or more pathways for charge to flow. The total voltage is divided among the branches. Correct. Okay, it has two or more pathways. So, sa parallel natin mga anak, it contains multiple branches, di ba? Okay, current can divide among these different branches. Okay, parang highway na may multiple lanes. Okay, ganun sa ating parallel circuit. Okay, so in a parallel circuit, how does the voltage across its branch compare with total voltage? It is always half the total voltage. It is the same as the total voltage. It is greater than the total voltage, or it is always zero. Correct. It's letter B. Ano? It is the same as the total voltage. Sa ating parallel mga anak, ang voltage niya ay, ano po, pare-parehas. Okay, unlike sa series, okay, na ang pare-parehas ay current. Sa parallel, ang pare-parehas ay voltage. Yun ang tatandaan ha. Okay, so sa parallel talaga, each branch connected across kahit saan yan, in the same points of the power source, okay, yung voltage across each branch is equal to the source or total voltage. What happens to the total resistance in a parallel circuit when more branches are added? O kung sa series, lalong tumataas pag more resistance yung dinadagdag. Sa ating parallel, anong nangyayari? Correct, it decreases. Okay, so bakit? So, kasi pag parallel mga anak, pag nag-add tayo ng add ng mga um, resistances or more, okay, branches. Okay, so ang nangyayari, adding more branches in a parallel circuit gives electric charge more pathways to flow. Okay, as a result, yung total resistance natin, kumukon or nagde-decrease ng pa-decrease. Imagine yung road. Kapag nagdagdag ka ng madaming lanes, mas maraming daanan, di ba? So, mas madali yung flow madali yung flow. So, in a parallel circuit, more branches mean lower resistance. Yun lang yung parang analogy doon. Okay, sa series, more, what do you call this, resistor na i-add natin, pataas ng pataas yung resistance. Okay, sa parallel, opposite. Okay, next. According to the Newton's second law, what happens to acceleration when the net force increases while mass remains constant? Acceleration decreases, acceleration increases, acceleration remains zero, or acceleration disappears. Correct, it increases ano? Okay, bakit kaya increases? So, sa ating second law of motion, okay, or yung ating law of acceleration, yung pinaka main formula is force is equal to mass times acceleration. So, if mass remains constant, okay, increasing the net force produces a greater acceleration. Simple analogy, kung pareho ang bigat ng dalawang objects, mas malakas ang tulak, mas malaki ang acceleration. Okay, next. Which statement best describes Newton's third law of motion? Ano naman ito? Sa third law, objects remain at rest unless acted upon by a force. Force equals mass times acceleration. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, or greater mass always produces greater acceleration. Siyempre, letter C, ano, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So, when you push the wall pushes back. That is an action-reaction pair. Okay, so hopefully mga anak, meron tayong natutunan or somehow makatulong yung review question na refresh tayo. Okay, sa hopefully makatulong ako sa sa inyong preparation sa upcoming term 1 examination. Thank you, grade 9.